There are currently 10 players rated 90 or above in FIFA 20, and for today's video, we're going to be releasing them all out into the wild. They're all going to be free agents, and they've all got to find themselves new clubs, so yeah, it should be interesting to see who they sign for. I've tried this out a few times in the past on previous FIFAs, and the results are generally pretty interesting, so hopefully that'll be the case again today. And of course, if you do go on to enjoy this video today, please do leave it a like, and if you want to see more content like this from me in the future, stick around and subscribe. I'll have plenty more videos coming to the channel in the next few days, weeks and months, so yeah, if you do end up enjoying this one, you may well enjoy some of my future content too. Also, I was looking to start a career mode series on my second channel. The plan was to put the video up at the exact same time as this one, tell you about it in this video. Unfortunately though, there have been all sorts of bugs with career mode. Obviously the game doesn't launch properly until next week. We're still at the early access stage at the moment, and there are so many bugs and issues that I just didn't want to start up a career mode save and then have an issue 10 episodes down the line or something where there's a game breaking bug and it completely ruins the series. So instead of starting it now and risking it, I'm going to leave it for a bit. Hopefully it won't be too long, and then I can start bringing you regular content on that second channel. I've got a green screen set up so face cam's all nice and ready, and there will be some of you that have never seen my face before, so if you're one of those people, link in the top right hand corner. Career mode series will be starting soon, and it will feature facecam. Let's get going with this one anyway though, and let's see where these 10 players end up. I'm genuinely extremely curious to see what happens. I'm not going to lie to you, this hasn't really quite gone to plan. I was expecting the players to spread themselves out a bit. Instead though, most of them are signed for Bayern. They already had Manuel Neuer, and they've now snapped up Oblak and Ter Stegen. They've also signed Van Dijk, Luka Modric, Kevin De Bruyne, Mohamed Salah. Messi, to be fair to him, has gone to Piemonte Calcio, so at least there's a little bit of variety. Ronaldo's gone to PSG, Neymar is at Bayern, and finally Eden Hazard has joined Messi at Piemonte Calcio. And having signed Messi and Hazard, the men from Piemonte have finished top of the table, 7 points ahead of Lazio. Whilst Bayern unsurprisingly have absolutely smashed it. They only lost 4 games all season. They're only 5 points ahead of Dortmund, but to be fair, they had a massive season themselves. They won 23, drew 6 and lost just 5, so yeah, tough competition, but with all of those signings, Bayern did of course get the job done, and they won the Bundesliga. And they also won the Champions League, and having signed up 7 90+ rated players, I'm not at all surprised. They picked up 12 points at the group stage, where Ajax were also in their group, so the 2 finalists coming out of Group E. Powerful group that one. Athens got 9 points to be fair to them, so in a group up against the 2 Champions League finalists, 9 points is pretty good going. Ajax then went on to beat Roma at the round of 16 stage 3-2, whilst Bayern beat Bruges 4-1 on aggregate. In the quarters, Bayern then went through against Manchester City, whilst Ajax just about scraped their way through on away goals against Inter. At the semi-final stage, Bayern then defeated Liverpool 2-1, whilst Ajax picked up a 3-1 victory on aggregate over Galatasaray. Wasn't expecting to see them in the semi-finals. And if you're wondering what happened to Ronaldo's PSG, they got knocked out of the Champions League group stage, fell into the Europa League, and got knocked out by AC Milan. And they couldn't even make themselves feel better with domestic glory, as League was won by Lyon. And there's definitely a Spurs fan on the career mode development team. They won the Premier League title with 93 points, finishing 11 points ahead of Arsenal and 12 ahead of Manchester City. Liverpool meanwhile finished 4th. That is definitely not going to happen in real life. Anyway though, let's give this another go, and this time I'm going to be managing Bayern, so they won't be able to snap up the majority of the players, and there should be a little more variety. I mean, the expectation was that there would be a little bit more variety. As it turns out though, not so much. Most of the players don't have a club. No one wants Oblak, Ter Stegen can't find a club either. Van Dijk is wanted by absolutely no one. He's the best centre-back in the world arguably, and nobody wants him. Okay, Modric and De Bruyne have ended up at Piemonte Calcio. Messi can't find a club. Same thing with Mohamed Salah. Once again, Ronaldo's gone to PSG. Neymar's not wanted by anyone, and nobody wants Eden Hazard either. Sure. And once again, Ronaldo's PSG couldn't win the league title. this time losing out on goal difference to Lyon. There was some good news for Modric and De Bruyne, however. They both picked up Serie A winners' medals. Manchester City have won the Champions League this time, and Ronaldo's PSG have won the Europa League, so once again they must have finished third in their Champions League group, dropped into the Europa League. This time though, they did win it, with Ronaldo scoring 7 goals in just 9 appearances. Decent. Let's get into the second season now then, and let's see if any of these 7 players get snapped up. Hopefully they will, otherwise this whole experiment has just been a bit of a failure, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people consider him to be the best goalkeeper in the world at this point, but after 2 seasons, Oblak is still wanted by absolutely nobody. Ter Stegen is now playing for Sangju Sangmu, I believe that's a K-League team, so bit random. Nobody wants Van Dijk. Modric and De Bruyne are still at Piemonte Calcio. Messi is signed for Mirandes. I believe that's a second tier Spanish side, could be wrong, but yeah, random signing regardless. Salah is still unwanted. Ronaldo's still at PSG. Neymar is also at Sangju Sangmu, so they're making some big moves. And they've also signed Eden Hazard, so yeah. Still only picked up 10 wins in 22 matches though, and in a league of 12 teams, they just about made it into the top half, so not great. Messi's team meanwhile came 20th in the Spanish second tier. They only scored 44 goals all season, and I'd imagine that Messi probably scored most of them. Ronaldo's PSG finally won a league title, but Piemonte have slipped away a bit over in Italy, allowing for Inter to win the Serie A title. Manchester City have won the Champions League once again, this time in a penalty shootout up against Real Madrid, whilst the Europa League was won by Borussia Dortmund. We've still got 3 players without a club at this point though, so let's sim forward once again, and let's see if anyone snaps them up in the 3rd season. Van Dijk has finally found himself a club. He's been signed up by Napoli. Oblak and Mohamed Salah, meanwhile, are still not wanted. 90 rated and 93 rated respectively, and they're not wanted by any clubs whatsoever. Oblak keeps improving, keeps getting better. He's training his socks off, bless him, doing his best to try and find himself a new club, but nobody wants him. Poor guy. And I'm just going to throw it out there, but maybe if Napoli had signed those 2 players in addition to Van Dijk, then they would have won the Champions League rather than losing the final to Chelsea. And maybe they could have moved up the table a bit domestically too. Or if they'd rocked up in the K-League, then maybe Sangju Sangmu could have broken this cycle of finishing 6th. At least Ronaldo's still doing his thing out in France though. PSG finished top of the table, 5 points ahead of Lyon. And I've got no idea how they're getting this sort of production out of him at Napoli, but Munir scored 12 goals in 13 matches. I wish that you could look at the stats for all the different leagues, because I'd love to see how many goals he scored in Serie A. He might not be the highest rated player in the world, but he's definitely doing something right. As a Dynamo Zagreb, they've gone and won themselves the Europa League. Anyway though, let's hop into the 4th season, and let's see if Oblak and Mohamed Salah can finally find themselves a club. Someone's got to snap them up, surely. And by the end of the 4th season, they've still not been signed by anyone, so I'm just going to stop simming at this point. I don't think anyone's ever going to sign them. Mohamed Salah has started to decline now. He's still not wanted. Oblak, of course, still not found a club either. Everyone else stayed at the same clubs as they signed for initially. Ronaldo is about to retire, and as I say, I'm going to stop it there. Messi is still struggling away in the Spanish second tier. To be fair to him though, he has dragged them up to 16th now, so it could be worse. Ronaldo is loving life in Paris. He's finished his career on a high and he's won yet another title. The lads in the K-League are still struggling away to a top half finish. Piemonte Calcio have won the league once again in Italy, and Van Dijk's Napoli have finished 2nd. I have absolutely no idea what's happening in Europe though. It says that the playoff round is still to be determined, despite the fact that we've made it to the end of June. And I've tried clicking on the Champions League several times, and it just keeps crashing the game, so yeah, day 1 and I've already broken FIFA 20. Brilliant. In a weird kind of way though, it does kind of tie in quite nicely with what I was saying at the start of the video about starting a career mode series on my 2nd channel. I can't be starting a long-term career mode series if it's a possibility that 4 seasons in, 5 seasons in, the Champions League is suddenly just not going to exist anymore. How frustrating would that be if I did a Road to Glory, for instance, and by the time I get to the Premier League, the Champions League is no longer a thing, and we can't achieve that dream of taking a team from the bottom tier to the top tier, qualify for European football, do all of that good stuff. It'll all be ruined, and it'll all have been for nothing. So yeah, I just don't want to take that kind of risk. I might have to do like a 1-season challenge, something like that. I don't really know. I'm gonna have to think about it. I want to start a career mode series on my second channel though. I will be starting a career mode series on my second channel. I'm just not entirely sure exactly what it's gonna be. Anyway though, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Have an awesome day, and I'll catch you again next time.